everyone, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, I'm really glad that you are here, that you decided to click the link and watch this video. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Josephine Sneha. Not sure if I should call myself a PhD scholar because currently I have a job. So let's go for a PhD scholar who submitted her thesis and currently working as an assistant professor. Yeah, that works. And about this video, I'm not going to be reviewing any books, but instead it's going to be completely an unboxing video. And, yes, I paid like $1,799 only and I got these many books. So you actually have to pay for the box. It's $1,799 for the box and you can fill as many as books in this box. So okay, I'll start showing the books one by one. So this one is Ajaya, the Roll of Dice. My PhD thesis is based on modern Indian mythology, so I cannot avoid this book. So this is the first book. As soon as I entered, I was checking out all the books. It's the first book I took. I wanted to actually read because this is a story about the retelling of Mahabharata from the perspective of the Kauravas. So I really wanted to know what exactly is their point of view, which is why The Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is actually a non-fiction, or what we call it as self-help books. Honestly, I'm so stressed these days now that I have a job and I'm traveling for more than 4 hours. So I actually thought these kind of books would help me while traveling, give a kind of a motivation also. The next one is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. And the next one is The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri. It is by the Indian writer. It's also once again a famous work. Most of the research scholars in MPhil or PhD, they would actually take these works. So more or less I know the plot, but then I wanted to really get the first-hand reading experience because that is what completely changes your perspective, and who knows, you might even get other ideas as well. And the next one is Still Alice. So this is also a contemporary work, and I have seen this book a lot of time in Bookstagram, people reviewing it. Okay, this one is Jane Austen's Mansfield Park. So I am a die-hard fan of Jane Austen. I've read her Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and so many other things. But then I haven't read this man and read it because there is no good time to read Jane Austen. Every day is a good day to read Jane Austen because I completely love her. Daniel Defoe's Small Flanders. So this is once again a classic. Daniel Defoe is very famous novelist. He's well known. In the initial days, he was the writer who was penning a lot of novels. So I wanted to get this classics because I haven't read any of Daniel Defoe's work. So I thought let us see what you'll be familiar with this. The Taming of the Shrew, written by Shakespeare. This is not a novel. It is a play. Of course, we read a lot of Shakespeare's play. I'm very familiar with Macbeth, Hamlet, Merchant of Venice, Much Ado About Nothing, and all the stuffs. There are so many, of course, Shakespeare's play I have read, but suddenly it's not coming to my mind. So The Taming of the Shrew, I haven't read this. So I thought okay, let's take a look at this. Also, I was very happy. This was a pre-used book. Someone has already used it, and I could see certain annotation and everything. So it reminded me of my own work because I used to do the same. So a pre-loved book, so why not take it? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's by R.L. Stevenson. This is also a very famous work. I'm actually kind of writing a research paper based on Coho. And I thought maybe I can use this as a reference material. There are certain similarities. I'm not going to say which novel because if I say then you will obviously find out. So I thought let me use this, read it, and then also use this as a 3 comedies. Of course, this is often prescribed for the UG students. So I thought let me get it because I wasn't sure whether they would actually give me this paper to handle. So I just got it even before. So it has Volpone, The Alchemist, and Bartholomew Fair. The Edible Women. So The Edible Women is very famous work of Margaret Atwood. Margaret Atwood is a feminist, and we could see that her work is completely, it takes a contemporary style, but also she has a very singular point that she tries to prove throughout her work. So that's why I thought. And also it's a more or less a modern classics. That's what most of her novels are advertised. It is a modern classic. So contrary term, but still when we read it, we'll actually. Thomas Hardy's The Woodlanders, and I also got The Test of the D'Urbervilles, which is also by Thomas Hardy. 2 books by him. Shakespeare's play, Henry V. Then John Bunyan's The Pilgrim Progress. I actually have an abridged version. So an abridged version will be like in the short and condensed way. So I thought like let's this Lord Jim. It is written by Joseph Conrad. This is also like an unbridged version. So it is about Jim. So he's the protagonist, and the completely we can see all the adventures, everything, the ups and downs went through Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So Mary Shelley is also a feminist, and when she wrote this novel, it was like a complete shock to everybody because it was a mix of gothic stuffs, romance, horror, everything. That too, at that age, a woman writing this book was completely a shocker for everyone. So I've heard a lot about Will You Still Love Me by Ravinder Singh. Walter Scott, the book is called Ivanhoe. You know, Walter Scott is very, very famous for historical novels. So the blurb itself actually says a lot of it includes historical places, historical names, etc. He's very famous for historical fiction, which is why he's called as father of historical fiction. Yes. And we can see that a lot of, even though it's about history, we can see a lot of moral realism because he tries to capture what everything happened in that particular age, which is like really interesting. It's a very important book. Lady Chatterley's Lover. So this book is written by D.H. Lawrence. If you remember, it's a most scandalous book. You know, when I was in my UG, my professors, of course in Social History of England or History of English, there will be a single line that D.H. Lawrence wrote this work. It's very mischievous, very scandalous. That's the only thing they say. So we are not aware of it, what exactly it is. And the moment I remembered all the things my staff told while taking the class. I thought like, okay, let's get it and let's. Okay, I also have Hardy's other work, The Return of the Native. Then there is Evelyn Maugh's A Handful of Dust. I wasn't like really sure what this book is about. I didn't like, while actually looking the blurb and the pages, I thought it's more or less like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's what I guess, because more or less it talks about a marriage, a couple, what happens to them. So I thought like, it might be like the Seven Husbands of Evelyn. Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. The last book, it's James Joyce's Ulysses. A very famous, a very bulky book. You can actually see a mammoth of a book. Let's see if I can read it. The last book which I read, which is of the same weight and everything, is Vanity Fair. So I read it in, I think so, 2022, in the early 2022. I actually read the Vanity Fair. It was bulky. When I went as a chief guest to a college, they actually gave me that. And it's the second book that I'm reading, something very, very bulky. Let's see. Of course, like if you remember, this James Joyce Ulysses is very, very complex text. Even though it is an influence for modern fiction, it's still a complex text because the writing style, the content, the characters and everything, it's kind of like very, very complicated. I have heard about it. Okay, now that we have come to the end of the video, I'm like really happy to see all these 24 books. Yes, I counted, it's 24. I'm like really excited to read them all. Hoping to read this all completed within this year so that I can buy other set of books in the next year. And thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for clicking the link and watching this video, because it takes time, because it's a lengthy video, of course, since I'm unboxing all the stuff. But thank you so much for joining. Stay safe, make healthy choices, and I'll meet you in the next video. Thanks, bye.